I used to waste my days procrastinating, and the consequences are more serious than you think. This is a warning to all those who tend to be lazy and procrastinate all the time. You're literally about to ruin your life. Here's my story, and hopefully you can learn something from it. As I said, I used to put off the work, I used to procrastinate, I used to just not do what I was supposed to do. You know, every day I would wake up and I would have motivation from the previous day. The previous day, I told myself that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have a productive day tomorrow. I wake up completely demotivated, already with this anxiety in the back of my head about, doing what I need to do, knowing that what I'm supposed to do is good for me, but at the same time, just having this anxiety, not wanting to do it. And then I'd get to it. I'd look at my laptop endlessly and nothing. I would just get distracted, so I would start scrolling YouTube or download a video game on my phone, just something completely different, which completely derailed my day, and that was it. That was it. It was over, and then I would waste hours and hours, and before I knew it, the day was over, another wasted day, and I'd look at my failed schedule, I'd look at my failed work, and I would feel disgusting. I would feel so bad about myself. And this is the moment in which I started making plans for myself about how I'm gonna change my life, how I'm gonna do this, start getting hope again, kind of knowing that the next day I'm probably gonna repeat the same cycle. The reason I'm making this video is because I want to warn you of the bad consequences, because when I procrastinated, I wasn't really aware of how bad things were gonna get. I wasn't really aware of what I was doing. I didn't have this urgency, this fear in my head. I was just kind of wasting the days. But this led to some seriously bad consequences. Firstly, rejection. I used to like a certain girl. She rejected me probably because I wasn't good enough. Now, I got lucky with that because I met a better girl. You never know, you have to keep going in life, but the point is that it's unpleasant, it's rejection. You don't want that. Also, failures, just failing, having a goal, having dreams, having ambition, and seeing them fail. This leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. It makes you feel terrible because not only did you fail them, you didn't fail them because you tried and failed. You failed them because you literally didn't try. And also the constant pressures. When you're starting to get older, the tasks are starting to pile up, the responsibilities. Your dreams are slipping away from you, and you have this constant pressure raining down on you, and this is what happens when you procrastinate because you've wasted all this time. Now you have less time, and now everything is more difficult than it used to be before. And also feeling like you're behind, so looking at your peers and looking at other people when they have plans, they're taking action, they're doing stuff, but you're stuck behind basically. And you know what, at some point I did realize I need to get out of my procrastination rut. Even before these bad consequences happened, even before that, I realized that I have to get out of it. But just because I had done it for so long, the consequences still hit me. They still effed my life up, you know what I mean? So eventually I started moving, I started getting out of this procrastination, and I started getting results in all areas of my life. I started building better habits, putting in the work, taking risks, but this only happened pretty much after 1 year. So it took me 1 year of just working, not procrastinating, just doing the work to actually get real results. So if you procrastinate right now because you don't have results or something, don't expect quick results. It's all about consistency. So let me give you some advice, but with an analogy. So the second law of thermodynamics pretty much states, and I'm not a scientist, don't fucking quote me on this, but basically it states that the universe particles move towards disorganization, towards random order. So the way I can explain this simpler is, if you have an apple and you put the apple down, the apple doesn't just stay the same, it starts rotting. And this is true for everything. You rot as well. If you sit down in one place and don't do anything, you're gonna die in 2 weeks because you haven't eaten or drank any water. Basically what I'm trying to tell you is that everything in life is either becoming better or is becoming worse. There's no such thing as stagnation, staying in one place. So if you think right now that you're procrastinating and your life is gonna stay the same, it's not. It's getting worse. It's just happening secretly. It's happening behind your back. life doesn't wait for you. It only gets more difficult. Like the older you get, the more responsibilities you have, the less time you have, the less energy you have. And when you combine all these factors, also you have less motivation as well because you've already failed for a few years. So when you combine all these factors, it really becomes difficult to succeed on anything. I am now getting more busy. I am getting older. I'm still very young, so that's no problem. But life doesn't wait for you. That's the lesson I want to teach you. It only gets more difficult. So if you don't stop procrastinating right now, you're gonna have some problems. But what is the advice I can give you to actually stop procrastinating? Well, imagine this scenario. You know, on the first day, I tell you, you know what? You will have to work. You have to work today. You have to follow your schedule. You have to do your work. You have to not procrastinate it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give you a reward. I'm gonna give you a cookie or something you want. I'm gonna give you a strong reward. Well, at this point, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, that's a good reward, but you probably still won't be that motivated from this reward. Let's be honest, like you've had the rewards for a long time in your head, but that still doesn't get you out of bed on time. It still doesn't get you to do the work. You know the reward that the work brings, but you're still not doing it. Now imagine on the second day, I tell you, okay, my bro, today you're gonna follow your schedule, you're gonna do your work, you're not gonna procrastinate. But instead of a cookie or a reward at the end of the day, I'm putting a gun to your head. If you procrastinate today, I'm shooting you. Now what are you gonna do? Are you gonna procrastinate? Probably not. And this is the key thing I want to teach you. Negative motivation is much more powerful than positive motivation. So if you have been trying to motivate yourself by rewards and what you're gonna get out of, you know, doing the work and not procrastinating, well, maybe that's not motivating enough for you. Maybe you don't have clear goals. Okay, maybe you don't know what you want to achieve in your life. Maybe you don't have a purpose, so you can't motivate yourself. Okay, create an anti-vision. An anti-vision is the opposite of what you want to happen with your life. You may not know what you want, and the rewards might not be powerful or stimulating enough for you to put in the work every day, but you certainly know what you do not want out of this life. So create an anti-vision. Write down right now, open a journal or open a document, write somewhere everything you don't want to happen. And remember one thing, every single day in which you procrastinate, you get one day closer to everything you don't want out of this life. And that's why an anti-vision is so powerful. It's like a gun to your head. Everything you don't want to happen, your worst nightmares. Well, if I procrastinate right now, I'm actually gonna get closer to these worst nightmares. So you know what? I'm not gonna procrastinate. Now, if you want the best method to actually overcome procrastination, then join my community. Inside, I offer completely free coaching, which is to stop procrastinating basically at the end of the week. So if you're procrastinating, maybe you've been suffering for months, maybe even years, I'll stop it by the end of next week if you just click the link below. And this is completely free, by the way. So thank you for watching this video. Bye! I'm watching you.